In a nation searching for answers, every household has a story, and every story is shaped by the politics of our time. Your struggles, your hopes, your future. We bring you the voices of the people and the leaders who must respond. Because a stronger democracy starts with informed citizens. This is where Zambia comes together to talk, to question, and to push for better. Your voice, your power, your Zambia. The Political Square. Only on BMTV. Zambia's light, Zambia's voice.
The Movement for National Renewal has announced its transition from a civic platform into a fully fledged political party after surpassing 1 million voluntary signatures collected across Zambia by the 3rd of March 2026. The milestone affirms the movement's principles of constitutional respect, institutional renewal, and fiscal discipline, as well as integrity and citizen-led policy making. Today, joining me is the leader, renowned lawyer, John Sangwa, emerging as a key figure and prospective presidential candidate under the new political formation. We have Mr. Sangwa with us in the studio for a quick chat. Congratulations on the formation of your party, sir.
Thank you.
And
thank you very much
for according BMTV Newsroom this walk-in interview.
Thank you.
First things first, you've officially formed the Movement for National Renewal and indicated your intention to contest the presidency in 2026. What inspired the creation of this political party? Is it due to the fact that you feel the current opposition and alliances are not well organized, or are you not confident in their leaders? Having said not every Jim, or is it Jack and Jill, can be a party leader. And do you believe this is the right time for your political party to come into the race?
Mm-hmm. Well, it has nothing to do with the existing political players. It has everything to do with the decline of the country, the missed opportunities that we have had over the last 60 years. And that is what is driving the Movement for National Renewal. And as the name suggests, what we are calling for is a complete renewal of the country, not in piecemeal, but complete. Because what we have seen, and anybody that is a keen follower of Zambian politics will note that the country is far worse today than it was at independence in 1964. So unless something very dramatic, very drastic is taken and arrest that decline, then Zambia will continue to be on this downward trajectory. And it's a very scary picture that is emerging. And I've spent the last 35 years trying to make my contribution to the good of this country. I've been an activist, I've been a lecturer, I've been public interest. I've undertaken public interest litigation. But at the end of the day, when you consider everything that has been done, I ask myself, what is the success story? There's very little in terms of impact. The country has continued to go down. That is why I made that decision to say, let me try and get involved, not alone, but together with others, to see whether we can renew this country, stop the decline, and then renew it so that it can start going on an upward trajectory.
Right.
Because it's difficult to understand why a country with so much and yet can be so poor. Zambia should have been a first world. Okay, so it's one thing for you to sit there and criticize. It's another thing to get involved. So personally, I made a decision to say, let me get involved, because it's a duty. By the way, it's not an option. It's a duty of every citizen to get involved in the governance of his country. You can do that at various levels. I wouldn't want to talk about the other political actors that are involved, because this is a democracy. Okay, we fought for the return to a multi-party system of government, so that any person that believes that he can create his own political vehicle and be able to make a difference to the country, the law allows for such initiative to be undertaken. So it has nothing to do with me passing judgment on the quality of the existing political parties. No, I'm not even qualified to make such judgment.
Okay.
It's a democracy. You have nobody has the right to dictate who should take part and who should not take part.
Right. What are the core values and principles that guide the movement for national renewal, and how do you intend to distinguish yourself from other political parties that are currently operating in the country?
Yeah. The very fact that we're talking about renewal
Yeah.
is a distinguishing characteristic. We are saying we can't maintain the status quo. The status quo is not beneficial to the country, because what has happened in the last 60 years is that we go for election, we replace the actors, but the institutions remain the same. And that is partly our problem. The choir changes, but the music remains the same. And what we are saying is that that's not good enough. Not only do we need to change the choir, but we also have to change the institutions, to reform, to revitalize the institutions. We're not saying that all the institutions of government have to be uprooted. No. Or what we are saying is that they have to be reoriented. They have to be renewed so that they can start functioning as they ought to be. For example, I can give you the example of the judiciary.
Right.
We're not saying that we do away with the judiciary, but we revamp the judiciary so that it begins to function as it is intended to function in the Constitution, meaning exercising oversight over the activities of the president, of the executive branch of government, as well as the legislature. We talk about revamping the National Assembly so that it also performs its oversight function over the executive branch of government. Also revamp the executive so that the executive works within the four corners of the Constitution. That's what we're advocating for. The distinguishing factor is the very fact that we have a message of renewal. That is what distinguishes us from the other political parties. We don't believe that the way things are in Zambia, we have to continue preaching the same message. But the situation dictates that we take a different route in order to put the country on a sound footing.
Right. As we wrap up, economic concerns remain at the forefront of many citizens. What policy direction would the movement for renewal, national renewal, take to address unemployment, for start, economic inequality, and also the rising cost of living in the country? This is something that we hear people echoing every other day.
Yeah. It's it's not as simple. These are problems that have been brewing over the years.
Yes.
Now, these are symptoms, okay? But they have underlying problems. It's easy for one to promise, oh, we'll be able to do this, that will not solve the problem. The starting point is to renew the institutions, to provide strong institutions. When you have a strong institution, you'll have a strong economy, and a strong economy will create jobs and create opportunities for others. When you have weak institutions, what they do is to breed corruption. And in an environment where there are weak institutions, the economy is weakened. And once the economy is weak, unemployment goes through the roof. So what we're talking about, it doesn't matter what you do in Zambia currently. Doesn't matter. You can have the most brilliant of ideas. Nothing is going to change unless and until you renew the institutions of government. Because economic activities do not take place in a vacuum. They are anchored by systems. For example, before you do anything, you have to restore respect for the Constitution.
Yes.
Okay, because that's the foundation of who we are. Secondly, there has to be rule of law. No country can develop without rule of law. There has to be rule of law. And so these are the key things that have to be introduced before we can talk about any meaningful development in this country. All those issues that you're talking about, they are symptoms of a broken system. We need to restore that system. We need to renew that system, get it to work as it was intended. So our systems are broken. So if there is anything that has to be done first, is to fix those systems, and any other policy that you bring onto or you bring forth, they'll be able to thrive. In the absence of these strong institutions, it doesn't matter what you do. And this is what the story has been over the last 35 years. Every government has been promising. And why is it that they haven't delivered? Simple, because they have not addressed the underlying root cause of these challenges. And the primary focus should be on restoring institutions so that they begin to operate as they are supposed to operate.
All right, as we wrap up this one, as you position yourself as a presidential contender ahead of the general elections this year, what message would you like to deliver to Zambians about your vision for the country and why they should consider supporting your leadership?
Very simple. I don't have a magic wand which I can wave for the problems of the country to go away. But the message is that they need to accept the fact that nobody's going to fix Zambia. Okay?
Right.
Zambia is so messed up. The problems are huge. But nobody's going to come from outside Zambia to fix the problems of Zambia. Zambia can only be fixed by Zambians themselves. And what we're saying is that we need to hold hands and be able to fix this country. And the problems, we can solve them. We have to simply make a choice. We have to reach a stage where we ask ourselves, is this normal?
Yeah.
Can we live with this? If we say no, then the next question is, what are we going to do about it? It is our collective responsibility. And even those who can make ends meet should be worried about those that cannot take care of themselves. So because we are all in this one country, so we have a collective duty, collective responsibility to make sure that we rebuild this country. It's not about statistics or numbers, which somebody can fudge numbers. It is about the real impact, what people are experiencing. Now, it is a collective response. No, you cannot sit there and say, somebody's going to fix the country. No, it is about saying, what can I do to contribute towards the renewal of Zambia? What can I do to contribute towards the development of Zambia? It is a collective responsibility. I've left my practice to be able to contribute. And I would like other people, especially professionals, to also step forward and be able to make their contribution. Zambia cannot be developed if its most educated people, its best brains, stay away from the political process. They need to get involved. We have the expertise, we have the knowledge to be able to transform this country. But if this expertise and knowledge stays out of the political process, then that vacuum will be filled up by people least qualified to hold public office. Okay, so it is important that the best brains, the best minds move away from Facebook and WhatsApp messages and join the political process so that we work together in transforming this country, if not for ourselves, but at least for the benefit of our children.
Indeed. We thank you for your time, sir. We certainly will call on you again so we can get more insights on the plans ahead.
Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
In a nation searching for answers, every household has a story, and every story is shaped by the politics of our time. Your struggles, your hopes, your future. We bring you the voices of the people and the leaders who must respond. Because a stronger democracy starts with informed citizens. This is where Zambia comes together to talk, to question, and to push for better. Your voice, your power, your Zambia. The Political Square. Only on BMTV. Zambia's light, Zambia's voice.